Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I do my everyday MILF makeup look. It is a very easy but still a glam makeup look. If you would like to see how I created this look, then please keep on watching. I am going to start by applying the Tarte Drink of H2O moisturizer. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply that all over the face. I am going to put it on my forehead, on my chin, down my neck, just basically everywhere that I'm going to be applying foundation. This moisturizer is also going to work as a primer for my foundation. Next, I'm just going to brush my eyebrows the way I want them to go basically, and I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, number 12 or number 14, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna use this Brow Gel by Tonya Crooks, and I'm just gonna dip into all three colors. Now I'm just gonna fill in my eyebrows. I always like to do my eyebrows right after I moisturize, that way it gives the moisturizer time to soak into my skin. Now I'm just outlining the brow the shape that I want it to be. I always outline it, and right after I outline, I use a spoolie, that way it picks up the excess products, that way the brows are not too harsh. I know you saw me smelling the brush because something was smelling weird at the time, and I was just like wondering if it was a product, if it was a brush, but I never found out what it was. So I'm still just picking up the same three colors, and I am just building up the intensity. I don't want a harsh brow, I just want somewhat of a natural brow. I'm going to be cleaning up the brows with the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer, and then this is the shade Neutral, I believe. So I'm just gonna apply it at the bottom, not really trying to make a harsh line. Now I'm just gonna blend the product with my finger. I am not using a brush because I don't want it to be so precise. That's why I'm using my fingers. Okay, now I'm gonna use a brush, and the only reason I am using a brush is just to further blend the product. I'm going to be using a beauty blender, that way I have a very even base. Now I'm gonna be going in with foundation. I am using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, and I'm just gonna use it with a beauty blender. I'm just gonna dot it all over my face, like so. So I'm just gonna pounce this BB all over my face. Make sure it is a damp beauty blender. I also go over my lids, that way everything just blends perfect. There's no harsh lines. That is why you see me going over that concealer I put under my eyebrows. I always take my time when I'm blending the foundation into my skin. I just like the way it gives an even coverage with a beauty blender. Go down my neck, and this is like the most important step for me. I take my time and I keep bouncing that BB everywhere. I'm gonna go back in with the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in the shade Neutral, and I am just gonna highlight with that. I am just doing little triangle-y shapes down the sides of my nose, and I spotted a pimple, so we gotta hide that. On my chin, on my forehead, just like that. Now with the same beauty blender, I am just going to blend the highlight into the skin. Okay, and just how I apply foundation, this is a second thing I like to take my time with, so that is what I'm doing here. I'm going down my chin, I'm going under my eyes with the pointed side, I'm going to do the top of my forehead with the pointed side, and then I'm going to use the butt of the beauty blender to further blend and just make sure everything comes together as one, the foundation and the concealer. And don't forget to do the little bubble fish, that way the foundation gets into your laugh lines if you have some, because I do, and they are annoying. And there I am, still pouncing that beauty blender all over my face, down my neck, under my eyes, and it's a repetitive process. And now I'm gonna bake with the RCMA translucent powder. I'm just gonna dip my beauty blender in there, and I'm going to bake everywhere that I put concealer. I'm going to be doing my bubble fish face, that way I get the translucent powder all on my laugh lines, that way it prevents creasing. I'm also going to do a little weird lip thing because I get a crease under my chin and I fill that in with translucent powder as well. Now I'm going to be more precise with the baking on the sides of my nose because I like to contour my nose. I am also going to be going down the bridge of my nose because that also helps with the contour that I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to give that a minute or two while it just sits there and bakes. It's time to wipe off the bakage, and I was literally having technical difficulties. The powder was just stuck to my face, it would not dust off, and I was so annoyed at this point. But I figured out how to fix it. I was just dusting away, dusting and dusting and dusting, and you see like a white cast that has never happened to me before. By the way, the brushes that I'm going to be using in this video are by Morphe, so if they're white, they're from the Morphe Copper collection. So after trying that blush brush for a while, it wasn't working, so I picked up a bronzing brush and that still wasn't working. You see the white cast still on my face, and I'm just trying to get it off and nothing. So I decided to just spray my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. See how that works. So after being wet for about a minute or two, the white cast was now gone, and I get to highlight since I already have setting spray on my face, and I'm going to be using Dripping in Gold and Bubbly from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. So since my face is still a little bit wet, I like to pat the highlight on the highest points of my cheek instead of swiping, because I don't want to pick up any of that foundation or have any harsh lines when I highlight. And I'm just applying that on the highest points of my cheeks, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. With the same shades, Dripping in Gold and Bubbly, I am going to highlight underneath my brow. Now I'm going to be connecting the cheek highlight and the brow highlight. And now with the highlight brush, we're just going to connect the highlights together one more time, but it's an even fluffier brush. That way it just blends everything together and there are no harsh lines. I'm going to be highlighting everywhere. I'm going to highlight above my brow, basically just everywhere, because I want to be glowing, super glowing. I just want to blind everybody with my glow. For eyeshadows, I'm going to use the Tartiest Pro To Go palette by Tarte. I am going to be picking up the shade Drive, and I'm just going to use a fluffy blending brush and put that all over my crease. And with the same shade, we're just going to keep building up the intensity of the color, and we're just going to keep going in with Drive. Now this is where you keep building up the intensity, same shade, same brush, windshield wiper motions, both eyes, repetitive. With a clean brush, this is a Morphe E27, I am going to be blending out the edges, that way there is no harsh lines. And I'm just going to keep blending. This is very time consuming, but this is what you gotta do so it can look pretty. now with a pointed brush, I'm going to be using the same shade Drive, and I'm going to place that on my lower lash line just to give it a little smoky look. Do you guys see that highlight though? Like, oh my god. And the way I dust off the product is just so extra. Like, do you guys see all that little dust that comes out of the brush? I said dust. It's not dust, it's just product. Now with an angled brush, I'm going to pick up the next shade in the palette, which is called Styling, and I'm going to tuck that in closer to my lower lash line. That way it gives my eyes a little bit more of a smoky look. Not too much, nothing too crazy, just a little bit. I just noticed that on my headband I have a bunch of brush hairs. Like, I'm just crazy. I look like a crazy lady right now. Like, I look like I own 10 dogs or cats. Why? With a clean blending brush, I am just going to blend the two shades together. That way there are no harsh lines, because nobody likes harsh lines. Now with a smaller, more precise blending brush, I am going to use Styling, and I am just going to keep that in my crease but lower than when we applied Drive. And I am basically going to be doing the same thing, keep packing the color and keep blending it until I get the intensity that I want. Going back in with the same Morphe E27, I am just going to be blending the harsh lines away. That way everything just blends seamlessly. I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the shade Drive and then put it into my crease. That way it just blends everything a little bit better. And now with this brush, I'm going to be lightly contouring. I've never used this brush before, so that is why I'm just barely tapping. And I am really going ham on tapping off the excess product because I really do not want to have a harsh contour, because this brush looks a little wider than the one I normally use, and I don't want to look like a hideous, ugly clown. Okay, now I think this became my favorite brush, the Morphe E27. I'm just gonna use that to blend out the contour, that way it's not that harsh. I am now going to bronze up my skin, and I'm gonna use the Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I was just locating my cheekbones, that way I know where they're at and I can just bronze up. This is a fluffy brush by Eco Tools, and I love it for bronzing. I don't know if it's for bronzing, I think it's a powder brush, but I like to use it for bronzing the skin. It's very fluffy, it's very soft, and it just gets the job done, and it's very affordable. And now I'm just going to keep bronzing away, just take my time, go down my neck, cover my double chin up, because I hate it. I don't like to have a double chin, so a bitch gotta fucking hide it. Y'all see how good I can hide that shit? Like, bro, y'all know, y'all see me, like, I'm looking so snatched, so bronzed, so pretty. And now with a contour brush, I'm just going to contour. I know I already bronzed up the skin, but this is actually going to contour my face, and it's just going to make my cheekbones pop a little bit more. I'm just going to use the same bronzer, but I'm just going to focus the product on the backs of my cheek, and I'm just going to pat the product instead of swiping it, because I find that to give me a more defining look. And you could really tell the difference between bronzing and contouring, because when I contour, it just gives me a more defined cheekbone area. I am also gonna pat the product on the highest points of my forehead, and I'm just gonna pat it. I'm not gonna swipe. That way it just gives it a more defined look. With the bronzing brush, we're just gonna blend everything together. Now with the RCMA translucent powder, I am just going to be cleaning up the contour, but guess what happens? Yes, I am going to have a white cast when I try to dust it off, but I'm going to fix that, and I think I figured out why that happened. I am sunburned, and I think that's why the RCMA powder, it's not working very good for me. It's very drying, but we are gonna make that work. Okay, so now with the blush brush, I am going to, oh no, I'm not. Actually, I am going to further contour. I thought it was just blush time, but no. Okay, now it's blush time, and I'm going to be using Milani, and the shade is Luminoso, and I'm just gonna smile, and I am just going to apply the blush with a blush brush. Okay, so I'm just applying that to my cheeks, and I am blending it in with the contour and the highlight, because we want everything to blend together, and we don't want to look like a clown. We want to look snatched and pretty and beautiful and gorgeous and just blended. Okay, so this is where it happens. I know y'all see me tripping, like I am just annoyed by it, but I am just gonna work with it. I am going to try to blend it out, but that doesn't work. I still see like the white cast, and it's very, very annoying, but don't worry, I'm going to figure it out, and I'm just gonna spray it, and everything will be okay. No, sweetie, not gonna work, but spraying it makes it all better. Okay, so y'all thought I was done with the highlight. Nope, I am going to use Jeffree Star Cosmetics Eclipse. This is like my highlight for everything. Like after I highlight it with any highlighter that I'm gonna use, I always use this over top, and it just makes everything pop and everything look better. Like I just glow. Like I just glow. And I look muddy, and I look dirty, and I look sweaty, but I like that look. I don't care. And now with the same Jeffree Star Cosmetics highlight, I am just going to highlight underneath the brow. I am basically going to highlight all over again, even though I already did. You guys don't have to do this. This is just extra, and I am being extra because I love this highlight, and I love to glow, and I just want everybody to see me from the moon. Now it's time for the lippy, and I am going to be going in with Jeffree Star Cosmetics Pussy Whipped. I love saying that. Pussy Whipped. Say it again. Pussy Whipped. Pussy Whipped. Trying to see that. Pussy Whipped. Okay, I am not going to be done with this lippy. I'm obviously going to make it glow because this is a MILF look, and MILFs have to glow because they're trying to find a baby daddy, and they're trying to find a, you know, we're MILFs for a reason. We want to find somebody. Okay, I'm just joking, but anyways, you guys don't have to do the extra step that I'm about to do because this lip is just already goes together with this look. I think I said this was going to be an easy makeup look, but I am putting rhinestones underneath my eyes. Like, what? Bitch, abort mission, skip this step. You don't have to do it. Like, bye. I did not realize I was being this extra with this MILF makeup look, but I guess if you want to be a MILF, put rhinestones underneath your eyes. Okay, now I'm just gonna be curling my lashes, that way I can just put some falsies on. So I applied the lashes off of camera, and this is what they look like. They're not extra, they're just basic, and they're just cute. I'm just gonna coat my lashes with mascara, and this is the one by Buxom. Okay, now I am going to be done with the lips. I was just waiting for the lippy to dry. I am being extra as fuck, you guys. I'm just going to add Dripping in Gold and Bubbly from the ABH Glow Kit, and I am just gonna make it glow and just make some kissing glowing lips. And now for some setting spray, and you guys, we are done. And that's it. This is the completed look, the completed MILF makeup look, and I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did like this look, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below on what look you might want me to do next, and don't forget to subscribe.